Hey everybody, this is Matt. I'm making a new Heroclix video, and this is a Heroclix team review based around the X-Men, and it's a team I played a few weeks back that I really enjoyed playing, and I really wanted to talk about it and show you the strategy. So this was a 400 point constructed Oreo Age X-Men theme team. So right off the bat, I just want to mention who the main focus of the team was, and the main focus was Professor X. He's from the Avengers vs. X-Men storyline organized play event, and I really like him. He's 150 points, and that's ridiculously expensive for a Professor Xavier. But he has so many bells and whistles that I really wanted to play around him. So let's look into some of the stuff he can do. Okay, let's look into some of the stuff he can do. Okay, so I was adjusting it a little bit. Okay, so he has a bunch of cool abilities. So he starts out, he can see into hindering, which is kind of cool. That's the improved targeting thing. He has a trait. When Professor X does not have 2 action tokens, he can use shape change. That's useful. Most likely you won't be pushing him. So, you know, he won't have 2 action tokens for the most part. So he'll have shape change most of the time, you know. Then he has a special movement. I can't let you do this. Professor X can use mind control and is not dealt unavoidable damage from it. Whenever you have mind control that's not dealt unavoidable damage, that is just too good to pass up. Opposing characters within range must be given double power actions instead of power actions. Okay, that's pretty crazy on 2 different fronts. But let's just get to the mind control, because as you can see, he has triple target. Triple target, you don't take feedback damage. Mind control is pretty nuts, dude. It's pretty nuts, dude. Now the second part, opposing characters within range must be given double power actions instead of power actions. It's within range, so he has a range of 8, and it doesn't have to be within line of fire. So he could have a wall in front of him and still be doing it. So basically, if they're given any kind of action that would normally be a power action, it's now it's a double power action. So let's say they do running shot, charge, hypersonic speed. They're all power actions, and now they would be a double power action. That means 2 things. One, if they don't have any action tokens, they're now pushing to do basically any of that stuff. 2, if they already have an action token, they can't even do those stuff, because you can't be given a double power action if you already have an action token on you. And then there's stuff like regeneration is a power action. Support, I believe, is a power action. A standard, well, there's a lot of stuff that's power actions, you know. So it's really powerful, and you know, in my game with the team and stuff, that was probably the strongest effect on the opponent's team, because I would move my team up near theirs and protect Professor X behind something, and then they would try to retaliate against me, but you know, most likely, you know, they'd be pushing themselves left and right, and it combos really well with to Iceman's ability to, whenever he hits a target, he can put an action token on him. Because once he puts an action token on him, then they can't do their running shot, charge, hypersonic speed, because it's a double power action then, you know. So you're constantly between the 2 of them, pushing them left and right, left and right, and left and right, you know. But that's just one of his special abilities. He has a special defense. Professor X can use Mastermind. When he does, he may divide the damage dealt between 2 adjacent friendly characters if they each share a keyword with them. So normal rules of Mastermind, they have to be a lower point total. But Professor X is 150 points. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that has less points in them. So the 2 damage things he's going to switch between is Colossus and Iceman. And Colossus has starting out invincible for 50 points, and Iceman has starting out, might be hard to say, invulnerability. So you can do some fun things here, because you get to divide the damage between the 2 of them. Because one's ignoring half of it rounded up, and one is just reducing 2 from it. So, like, in any case, you could always send just 2 to Iceman and he'll shrug it all, you know? So like if you get hit for 5, you can send 3 to Colossus. He'll take 1 because, invincible, and then send the other 2 to Iceman, and he'll shrug it all. If you get hit for 7, no, that 7's not realistic, but 5 it maybe is realistic. If you get hit for 3, you send 1 to Colossus, he'll shrug the 1, and 2 to Iceman, he'll shrug the other 2. If you get hit for 4, you send 2 to Iceman at least, and either way, Colossus is going to take 1. So I mean, you're turning 4 damage into like 1 damage a lot of the times, And oh look, they also have the X-Men team ability, meaning that I can give one of my guys, which all 4 other than Thug has X-Men team ability, I can give them a power action to heal up one of your dudes 1 click, and then roll a dice, and on a 5 or 6, or on a 1 through 4, they'll take 1 click themselves. It was worked out really well in the game. Basically, Professor X would sometimes use his X-Men team ability, and I'll talk about the other pieces in a second because it kind of went into the strategy there. But that's just another one of Professor X's ability in the Mastermind. He has another special ability, and that special ability is I love all of you. Professor X can use Empower, Enhancement, and Leadership. That is so nice. Empower, Enhancement. The Empower is kind of hard to pull off because if Pixie and Colossus like charge in and try to hit somebody, Professor X probably won't be with them. But with Iceman, it works really well with Enhancement because suddenly he's doing 1 more damage, and it helps when splitting up damage when you're trying to token multiple pieces and stuff. So and also it does work with Iceman's his effect where if he moves through you, like when he ends his movement, he can make a close combat attack versus that person, because if he ends his movement next to Professor X, he can actually take a bonus off the Professor X's Empower that way. So it works both ways. It's actually really nice. And then so Professor X can also use Leadership. When he uses Leadership and succeeds, he may remove up to 1 action token from each adjacent friendly character with the X-Men keyword. So that's pretty cool. That means you kind of want to just keep your entire team around Professor X, and basically let him enhance them, let him just boost up their stats, and let the opponent just have to push themselves to death, basically. Professor X has so many bells and whistles for 150 points. He has good keywords too. I mean, Avengers keywords. You don't see Avengers on a Professor X that often. Illuminati is really cool. I mean, I almost wanted to make an Illuminati team, with Iron Man and Black Panther and, Namor and stuff like that. But X-Men and X-Men, I love X-Men. So Professor X was definitely the focus of the team. I really love this dude. He plays so awesomely. But there was some important characters. I talked about some of the use of Colossus and Iceman, but we also have Pixie, and Pixie's really cool. Mainly because of her taxi ability. So, teleport spell. Pixie can use facing teleport. When she does, she may carry characters with a flight symbol, which is great. That means she can carry Iceman even though he's flying. And may carry 2 characters. She may carry 4 characters instead if they all have the X-Man keyword, which is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. So she was able to carry everybody, even able to carry Iceman because he's flying. And then she actually becomes really offensive. Once she clicks off of it. So like in my game with my opponent, I pushed off of the first click and lands on to charge with Perplex, Super Senses, and a special power that gives her Blades, Claws, Fangs, and Precision Strike. And the Blades with the 3 damage, I don't know, but Precision Strike is super useful because like if your opponent just doesn't have that much defenses and all they have is Super Senses, she can actually KO some people. And she has Mystic's team ability. So if they actually go after her, they're eating Mystic's damage, She is just really good for 75 points. I really like her. I'm happy they made her. She's really, really good. You know, even on her first click, she still has the perplex, so she's still supportive. She has the 12 taxi, which would most likely be a 10 because you -2. But she's just really, really good. Oh, and then during my game, they hit her so hard, they bounced her onto. Actually, they bounced her onto her last click, but she has support on her last 2 clicks. So basically, what I did was I put her behind Professor X. And then when Iceman would get hit for some damage or something, I would have Professor X, or like when I was trying to divide the damage up and stuff, I would have, like, let's say he shrugged 2 of it and Colossus took 1. I would have Professor X use the X-Men team ability to heal up Colossus by 1. Not only would it heal it up by 1, but Colossus has a trait that whenever somebody heals him with the X-Men team ability, you get to modify all his stats except damage by +1. So that would heal him up by 1, and then if I did that 2 or 3 times in a row and he bounced off of his special powers, I would use Pixie support to support Professor X back up, you know? And then you have Mr. Thug over here, who is probably my favorite character from Superior Foes of Spider-Man, and he's 10 whole points for 4 clicks of life, and you're saying, but he has no powers, what's the point of him? Well, I tell you what the point of him is. It's his wicked awesome trait. Always for hire. When building your force, choose a name keyword that at least 2 higher point characters on your force have. Thug has that keyword this game, but can't use theme team probability control. It's just great. You know, for this game, he was declared a mutant. He's now an X-Men. Welcome to the group. Not only is he good, because Professor X can mastermind to him. That's 10 points that you could mastermind up to 4 damage to. I mean, heck, you can mastermind 3 damage to him, and then next turn mastermind all like 6 or 7 damage to him. Oh, in a single attack, you know. And all your opponent would get would be 10 points, because that's how much Thug is, you know. He doesn't have horrible stats either. I mean, if you put Thug next to a Professor X, you know, that 9 becomes a 10. I mean, not the 9. The 2 becomes a 3. You know, and if Pixie still has her perplex, she could perplex him up to a 10 attack for 3 damage. That's pretty good for a 10-point character, dude. You can't go wrong with that, you know. I probably won't spend as much time talking about Iceman or Colossus. You kind of know what they do. Colossus charges in maybe with an item, and he has really good defenses. You know, invincible into invulnerability, just really tanky. Iceman has 7 range, double target. He can shoot people whenever he hits somebody. He puts a token on them, and if he doesn't want, if he can somehow combo it, I ended up having to either shoot him or move through him. If he moves through someone, he has ignore characters. When he ends his movement, anybody he moved through, he can put this token on them and make a close combat attacking them. And when they have that token, they can't be given an action, placed, moved, or targeted with an attack. So until they clear on their next turn or something. So it's just a really cool little team. I had a lot of fun playing it. The opponent didn't know what to do about the Professor X. They couldn't figure out how to get to the Professor X. I took out their one of their pieces right away, and the double power action thing was just eating at them. Iceman is a really good piece. I love Iceman. So he definitely didn't help the situation. And Colossus and Pixie, you know, they became, you know, close comedy dudes that could charge in and do stuff. While Thug, at one point, I just basically threw Thug out in front of Iceman and said, "Okay, you're only gonna get 10 points for that attack," you know. I love Thug. He's so cool. I also had an ATA on Professor X. I think it was Secret Avengers. And basically, if your opponent tried to target him with Outwit or Perplex, they couldn't do it if he hasn't been targeted with an attack yet this turn. Which was really good because your opponent is most likely not going to be able to not going to be able to attack him first before they do the Outwit Perplex. So it saves him a little bit from being attacked right away, you know. But that was the X-Men team. I really enjoyed playing it. I think it maybe came out to 400 exactly, or really close to 400. I really enjoyed playing the team. It is a good team. good, well-rounded team with a lot of cool stuff going on. And I hope you enjoy hearing about the team and hearing about what it could do, and hearing some of the combos, and just if you liked X-Men, that's cool. If you didn't, that's cool too. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video and support the channel. I hope you have a fantastic time playing Heroclix in the future, and have a fantastic day, everybody. Bye-bye.